Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. So today we'll talk about how application and web application, basically whatever the application running on mobile devices and the application which is we open through the browser, how they get to know the user location, how the GPS technology work, and everything about knowing the user location. So in this video I am going to cover 7 topics, right? So first topic will be why we need a user location, what is latitude and longitude, how we calculate latitude and longitude, right, manually, and then how GPS technology work, how the application uses the mobile GPS to know the user location, what is geospatial database, and how the browser uses a geospatial database to know the user location, and how itself the geospatial database built itself, right? So everything you will get to know about in this video. So please watch this video from till the beginning till the end. So let's get started. So first thing, why we need a user location. Suppose you want to show the restaurant around the user, right, to so the user can order the food. So if you know the user location, suppose the user is present here and there are restaurant in the user nearby, right? So if you know the user location, you can draw a radius and you can show these many restaurants are present to the user nearby. So for that you need to know the user location. That is the first use case. Second use case, suppose there are a lot of cabs are there, right? And if you want to give a cabs, right, what are the cabs around the user, right, so that a user can book the cab and he can take the ride. To provide this service you have to know the user location so that you can draw a radius and you can get to know these are the cabs present to the user by user, and you can provide the service to the user, right? And the third use case will be, suppose user is at point A, right? If you know the user location, right, and he wanted to go at point B. So if you know the point A, right, where the user is present, then you can show him the direction in the map, right, how he can reach to the point B and estimated time. So these are all the use cases which can be fulfilled by if you know the user location. So now let's talk about what is latitude and what is longitude. So suppose this is our earth, okay, and we have drawn the imaginary line in the earth. So it is kind of it is north pole and it is a south pole, and in between it will divide two hemisphere, kind of a north hemisphere and it is a kind of southern hemisphere. And if you and in between there is a line of 0 degree which is called as a equator, and if you go towards the north side it will increase from 0 to 90 degree, like 0, 30, 60, 90 I have given here. And if you go towards the south direction, then again it will increase from 0 to 90 degree, but in the south direction. And suppose any user is present at this position, right, so you can say the user is present at 60 degree north. So this is how the latitude is getting calculated. Now let's see how the longitude is gonna calculated. So longitude is again similar to the latitude, how it is calculated. So we drawn the imaginary line on the earth. So in the middle it is called as prime meridian, right? And again it, when we go through the east direction from the prime meridian, it will increase from 0 degree till 180 degree. So I have given here 30 degree, 60 degree, 90 degree, right? And if we go from the west side from prime meridian, then again it will increase from 0 to 180 degree. This is how the degrees are increased from 0 to 180 degree at the west end. And suppose any user at present here, right, at this point, then we can say user at 30 degree east. So that's how I have presented here the longitude. So now we have seen what is latitude and longitude. Let's calculate in real time. If we know the user direction, like a user is present at 40 degree north, right, and 60 degree west. So first whatever the degree is going to present as the latitude, and the second degree whatever it is presenting is the longitude. So this is how these two gonna represent it. So now 40 degree north. So if we come here, right, so to calculate 40 degree north, we have to come to the equator line. And if you go to north direction, it means you have to go to upward. And it is saying 40 degree, it means it will be somewhere here, right? At the 40 degree, it will be somewhere here in this line. Now we have to calculate the longitude. So 60 degree west. So where is the 60 degree west? To calculate the 60 degree west, we have to come to the prime meridian, right? And we have to go to the west direction. So if you go to the west direction, so here is a 60 degree, it means somewhere here, right? So this line is a 60 degree line and this is the 40 degree line. So this is the point, right? So it is nothing but a 40 degree north and 60 degree west. is the coordinate, right? And it's somewhere in USA. And let's try to find out the another coordinate. It is kind of a 20-degree north. So if we come here again in equator, it says 20-degree. It means somewhere in this line, right? This 20-degree will be present, right? And it is saying the 60-degree east. So if we come to prime meridian and if you go to the east direction, so it is saying 60-degree means in this line somewhere it will be present. So if we see, the both will collide here at this point. So this at this particular point, it is kind of a 20-degree north and 60-degree east, and that particular point is inside the India. So this is how we can calculate the user location by knowing the latitude and longitude. So but the main question is, how are we gonna get to know about the user latitude and longitude? So GPS technology is built to know about the user latitude and longitude, and let's see in this slide how the GPS technology is going to work with the help of satellite. So suppose we have a user here which is in the earth having the mobile devices. So first satellite will pass the signal. So mobile devices have a capability to receive the GPS signal. So when it receives the signal from the one satellite, so it means the user location will be this circle. So there will be imaginary circle will be drawn through the satellite to the user. So with one satellite, it means there will be a user which will be present inside this circle. So now it will receive the signal from the second satellite as well. So when we draw the two circle, it means the 2 points are colliding with the two circle. It means the user will be at either the upper point or at the lower point. To narrow down the problem, we need to receive the signal from the three satellite. Now we are receiving the signals from these three satellite, right? So now when we receive these signals from the third satellite, so it is colliding at this below point. So upper point is kind of omitted, so we don't have to use it. So means this point is correct. But in 3D structure, right, in three directions there could be a point of upper and the lower side. So where it is at the particular point, right, to narrow down the exact position, we need a location from the fourth satellite. So using the fourth satellite, right, R1, R2, R3 and R4, we can calculate the exact user location. And whenever these satellites send the signals to the mobile devices, so basically it also take time to reaches to the mobile devices, right? So for that, GPS technology uses the atomic clock in the satellite, which is very accurate and uses a trilateration mechanism to find out the user location, right? So this is all about the GPS, how it is going to work it, right? All over the globe, there are 24 satellites which is orbiting continuously to the earth, right? And to find out the user location at given point of time, we need a signal from four satellites, and within the four satellite, with the help of that, we can find out the user location. And this GPS technology is developed by the US Department of Defense, and it is completely free for the public. And other country also has developed their own GPS, but that will be named something else. But whatever we use in the mobile like Android and iOS phone, that uses a GPS technology which is developed by the US Department. So let's see how the mobile devices use this GPS technology now. So when the user is present on the earth, right, it receives the signals from the four satellites. So these four satellites is receive the signal, and we know there is a prime meridian and this is the equator. So once the user know its location, then it will find out how far is from prime meridian and how from is the equator. So within that we can get to know its coordinate. So device knows its location. So whatever the applications, right, Zomato, Swiggy or any Ola, Uber want to know the user location, so they can query the Android API, right? Android API will give the user location. And how Android API will give the user location? Android, this has the GPS built-in capability. When we enable the GPS in the Android device, it will calculate its location, right? And whenever the application requests that particular coordinate, so through the Android API we can return the user coordinate, right? And what are the clients in the Android device can be used? Like fused based provider client can be used, right? And to get the location, user location from the Android devices, and we can set here the method like how much accurate data you want it, because there are other mechanism also to get the data. If you set the accurate, then it will use the GPS technology to get the data. So now we have a second mechanism to get the, so we have a second mechanism. So device calculate this position. So when the device receives the signals from three towers also, right? So it can again draw a radius and it can find out the user location, but it is not kind of a very accurate. But the GPS technology use a lot of batteries, right? And it is kind of not very good at some point of time, right? So this mobile tower via calculating the user device is not accurate, but it can be used for find out the nearby businesses, right? For that it can be useful. And it's with same client we can use whatever to query the Android API, right? So we can use this fused location based service, right? And we can set the attribute like battery saver or something like that. So he can use the mobile tower based data location to find out the user location, not the GPS. So this is how the mobile devices find out the user location, and API uses those location to find out the nearby businesses. So but let's hold on for a minute. Suppose in laptop if I open the Swiggy or Zomato, they can also able to find out my location, right? And they can also show me the nearby businesses. How that is going to work, because my laptop is not having the GPS and it is not receiving the signal from mobile, these mobile towers, right? So how that is going to work? So that is based on the geospatial database. So let's discuss about the geospatial database. So what is geospatial database? So basically there is a database. So whenever the GPS enabled client will be connected to this Wi-Fi router, which is having the unique identifier like a MAC address, or whenever the mobile device is connected to tower, so it will send the data to the Google, Apple, or this kind of a company. They will maintain the geospatial database. It means in the geographic location where the particular device resides, that called as a geospatial database, which have the details, right? So these details mobile devices will send it to the Google, right? And it will maintain the database. So whenever the some API will query and pass this MAC address of the Wi-Fi, then it will send the location of that particular Wi-Fi, so that a user location can be find out, right? So this is how the Google is going to maintain the geospatial database. And with the help of GPS enabled devices, whatever the GPS enabled devices connected to Wi-Fi access point or the mobile towers, those location will be sent to the Google, and Google create the database with the mapping of coordinate to the MAC address or whatever the unique address will be there, right? Like latitude and longitude, right? This data will be maintained by the Google, right? And this is called the geospatial database. So now let's see how the browser uses this geospatial database. So whenever the our laptop is connected to the Wi-Fi, right, and some app we open like in our laptop, Zomato or Swiggy, then it say to allow the location. Whenever it's we say allow, then what will happen? It will send the MAC address of the Wi-Fi to the geospatial database. So how this from browser to the database it will go? So there is a geolocation API which is provided by Google that can be used, okay, to get the user location based on the geospatial data saved in the Google database. So this is how the mobile devices get to know about the user location based on the GPS technology or the with the help of tower signals, and how the browser get to know with the help of geospatial database. So in this video I have covered all the details about how the mobile GPS works, a tower, how the data is collected from the tower and calculated the user location, what is latitude, what is longitude, and how geospatial database is built, how the browser accesses the geospatial database with the help of geolocation API. So this is all about the user location, how we're gonna find it and use in our application. So thank you for watching the video. Please do subscribe my channel to get to know more about the system design.